G'day folks, welcome back to the channel. So would you rather buy a nice BMW or an Audi or a Mercedes, or would you rather buy a piece of Chinese junk from an unpronounceable manufacturer that'll probably go bankrupt a week next Tuesday? Well, I know which I'd rather have, and you should too, because a lot of these Chinese EV companies are going bankrupt. And because these Chinese EVs are all basically just an iPad on wheels, when the companies go bankrupt, all the connectivity of the software goes down, all the servers go down, they can't do any updates. Often they cannot even use the functionality that they paid for. Things like remote unlocking and locking, remote control of the air conditioning systems, all the things that you paid for when you bought the car stop working when the servers go down. A lot of people sent me this clip from the channel China Observer, very funny video. Let's just watch a little bit of it.
Guys, my Meta car is probably done for. I can't control it with my phone anymore. I can't even lock or unlock it. The map doesn't work. There's no internet connection. I don't know if the company has completely shut down or what happened. I heard before they were restructuring, but I have no idea what's going on. This car was supposed to have a 500-kilometer range. I've only driven it over 60,000 kilometers, and not even 70,000. It's just 2 years old, registered in June 2023. I don't know if they'll manage to restructure and make our cars usable again, but right now, it's basically useless. The network is gone. Just gone all of a sudden. I bought this car 2 years ago, paid 130,000 yuan for it. What am I supposed to do now?
I mean, exactly, what can you do? This issue has been reported widely in the pro-EV and anti-EV articles because this is exactly what happens when you have a connected car. Now, I'm not saying that this is only an issue with EVs. This BMW 4 Series has some connected features. It has an app which allows you to lock and unlock, for example, which is fine. But if it breaks, it's no big deal. Whereas if you're not able to actually use the car as a car, which is possible if you can't do your software updates or your firmware updates, then that is a big problem. And Inside EVs wrote this article, which I'll link down below, about a year ago. The ultimate connected car nightmare is playing out in China. What happens to your connected software-driven car when the company behind it fails and driving features go offline too? Last year, ahead of leasing a Kia EV6, I sold a 2002 Toyota 4Runner I'd owned for several years to a friend. I'd barely been driving the old truck by the end of my time with it. It was slow, it was thirsty, and it was good for Home Depot runs and snow days, but not much else. Still, there was one thing I truly loved about it. I could fix almost everything that broke on that truck, which didn't happen often, pretty much by myself. That's definitely not going to be the case in the new era of driving we find ourselves approaching. Car companies envision a near future where they sell smartphones on wheels, vehicles more defined by their software features than anything else, full of tech that gets upgraded and updated on the fly, and features they can charge you monthly and annually for, of course. Yeah, Lewis Rossman would love that. But since software now plays such a significant role in not just features like streaming music, but in key functions like battery management and recalls, what happens if those car companies close up shop or no longer support their legacy products? Will any of these modern SDVs, software-defined vehicles, be as viable on the road as my old 4Runner still is? That doesn't seem to be the case, and we're seeing one example of that looming disaster play out right now in China. Rest of World, the non-profit outlet that covers global tech news, has an alarming dispatch about Shanghai-based WM Motor. The automaker filed for bankruptcy last year as China's crowded EV market plays survival of the fittest, with the scores of car brands in that country. But now WM Motor is reportedly failing to keep up with even basic software functions that underpin these cars. Richard Quian didn't know what to expect when he heard that WM Motor, a Shanghai-based EV maker popular for its low prices, filed for bankruptcy in October 2023. He tried to drive his compact EX5 SUV as he normally would, but discovered that he could no longer log into WM Motors' smartphone app, which remotely controlled the car lock and air conditioner. He also couldn't see his car's mileage and charging status on the dashboard. Quian was not alone. Other WM motor owners reported that the smartphone app was unusable, and the built-in car stereo, which required an internet connection, had stopped working. Multiple WM motor owners filed complaints on 12365 Auto, a Chinese automobile review site. The car system is paralysed and I can't log in. The entire entertainment system is unusable and the vehicle status cannot be checked, one owner wrote. The car has become a huge safety hazard. WM Motor later apologised for the server downtime and temporarily resolved the issues, but some owners still have difficulties accessing basic features such as in-car entertainment, according to Chinese media reports. The company has not updated its firmware since the bankruptcy filing, and the WM Motor app is currently not available on Chinese app stores. So this is what happens when you buy a car which is essentially a software-defined vehicle. And it's if you get dependent on that kind of software and the connectivity that it requires, what do you do if that company goes out of business? You're stuck, basically. I mean, yes, if this BMW connected drive stuff went inoperative tomorrow, I'd be a bit annoyed. But, you know, I could still drive the car. I could still use 95, 97% of the functionality of the car. Wouldn't affect the driving, that's for sure. But with software-defined vehicles, it is key functionality that is controlled by this software and requires an internet connection to these servers to download firmware updates and even to ensure that that things like, well, as it says, the mileage is displayed properly, or that you've even got access to navigation functionality. And it's not just Chinese manufacturers that are having this problem. Fisker in the US is a company that's famously gone bankrupt twice. And the second time, obviously, its Ocean car was left stranded because once the company goes out of business, the servers go down, all the support goes down. And this article is hilarious because now the owners are having to band together and basically become the car company to support the vehicles they've bought because the actual car company has disappeared. When this EV maker collapsed, its customers became the car company. Fisker Ocean owners are fighting to keep their EVs alive after the company's bankruptcy. Christian Fleming paid around $70,000 for his dream car, a Fisker Ocean. He was drawn to the new EV's 350-mile range, if you're lucky, eco-friendly image and quirky features like California modes, which rolls down nearly every window at once. I've always bought my cars because I love the way they look, Fleming says. That's probably my first mistake. But his joy soon turned sour. In June 2024, 7 months after Fleming's purchase, Fisker collapsed into bankruptcy, having only delivered 11,000 vehicles. Early adopters were left with cars plagued by battery failures, glitchy software, inconsistent key fobs, and door handles that did not always open. With the company gone, there was no way to fix any issues. Regulators logged dozens of complaints as replacement parts vanished. Passionate owners who spent top dollar on high-end trims saw their cars reduced to expensive driveway ornaments. Rather than accept defeat, thousands of Ocean owners have organised into their own makeshift car company. The Fisker Owners Association, FOA, is a non-profit that's launched third-party apps, built a global parts supply chain and come together around a future for their orphan vehicles. It's part car club, part tech startup, part survival mission. Fleming now serves as the organisation's president. Well, this all sounds all very jolly, all lots of fun, until you realise what a nightmare this was for owners of the Fisker Ocean. They were basically left with a $70,000 brick. If something went wrong, or if there was a recall required, or if there was a firmware update required, that was never going to happen. And this is the situation we're in, where a device that we normally think of as a mechanical device that will keep working, certainly combustion cars are like that. They're not going to stop working just because there's no software update. But here we are with iPads on wheels that are so dependent on having connectivity, having servers providing those kind of updates on a regular basis, that if the companies go out of business, these items become essentially bricks. And if you think Fisker is bad, there's going to be a bunch of Chinese manufacturers that are going to go bust in the next 5 years. Absolutely inevitable. So all those weird Chinese EVs that you're seeing now, just think very, very carefully about whether you want to buy into an ecosystem that might not last. That's the reality of buying one of these Chinese EVs. They might disappear from the face of the planet long before your investment has paid itself off. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks very much for listening. Apologies for the lack of video today. Really hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Bye for now. If you'd like to support this channel and display your anti-EV credentials to your Tesla-owning neighbours at the same time, why not buy some awesome MGUY merchandise, like this mug, this baseball cap, or this t-shirt. Each high-quality item sports the MGUY No EV sign, and they're all made to order, perfect for irritating the hell out of your local EV zealots. Visit store.mguy.tv or click the link in the description to check out the full range of products. And of course, you can always just buy me a coffee. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. Thanks very much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any tips or stories, go there. If you'd like to watch another video, go there. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, go there. And please subscribe to the channel.